Hey everybody, welcome to Nation. My name is Jersey, and I want to thank you for hanging out with us today. If it is your first time, thanks for checking us out. Hopefully you enjoy it enough to go back and watch a few of the other episodes. That would be epic. If you are here again, you've watched the show, thanks. You're the reason we can keep doing the show. So please do like our videos, give it a thumbs up on Facebook, and make sure to comment on everything everywhere. It's very much appreciated. It's like a virtual high five, kind of like, yeah. Makes us feel good, and it makes us feel like people are actually watching the show, so we appreciate that. If you're listening via podcast, what's up? Thanks for listening. Hopefully you're working and making a bunch of money while you listen to us. This podcast is available via Facebook. It's going to be available via YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and of course SoundCloud. So watch, listen, but most importantly, do comment on everything and anything that you see. And truthfully, I'm full of it sometimes. Sometimes I'm not right and you don't agree with me. Please tell me, but also tell me if you do agree. Any comments are much appreciated. First and foremost, for our shout-outs this week, it's all because of comments and people saying nice things and talking back and forth. But Radical Words on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Glad that you enjoyed the episodes. And Jason Thomas, or JT, definitely, man, what's up? He's my dude. Really good guy, and thank you for watching. Nice things you say, and I love that you comment on everything. That's super cool. And then Troy Mara, M-A-R-A, also want to thank you for watching our show, and give us a comment or something, and I'll make sure to shout you out and let the world know that you're awesome if they don't already know. But today's episode of Nation is going to be a learning episode. I'm sorry. I know. I try not to have things that you have to write down and learn. Just let's talk shop, right? But today we are going to be talking about learning a thing or two. And I just want to give you some suggestions, some places to go, some things to check out, and some things to stop complaining about. But first and foremost, if you think of this business of yours as the kind of college, this is your education, right? If you know George Aguilar said this to me like a long time ago, and it like resonated with me. But this is your college, right? Everything you learn, classes, conferences, Facebook groups, books, everything that you learn is just like your college. This is your education, right? So spend a couple dollars to be educated, because it's going to really, really be beneficial down the road for you, because everything you learn and every little bit that you get smarter just means you're that much better at what you do. You're going to grow faster, and even if you're not looking to get amazingly huge, it's just going to be easier for you. You're going to make a ton more money by knowing more, and it's going to set you above and apart from your competition. Because here's the thing, truthfully, you're watching this right now or listening, and your competition isn't. Right? That's a fact. If that's a fact, then whatever you learn, even if it's one little thing in the past 12 episodes that you maybe learned, it's something that you're going to learn that somebody else isn't going to learn because they're not doing it. So everything that we talk about, from Facebook groups to books, all of those things are beneficial, and they do nothing but help you. You can't have too much information. You can't learn too much. And the more information you have, the more you can kind of pick and choose what information is good for you. Because if you listen to any of us, any of the YouTubers, right? If you follow anybody, if you go on any Facebook group or forum, and you listen to everything everybody has to say, you're going to have a bad time. That's a fact. Because there's a lot of dummies out there who I think flood the market with information just isn't true. I mean, I'm not going to pick on the same old bucket Benjis, right? But you see this stuff. If you watch some of these people go, oh yeah, I wash a house with a toothbrush. It's just the best way to do it. And you follow everything. Well, you're going to have a bad time. Same thing with me. I don't know everything. I just tell you what I think in my brain, and it's up to you to decide on what bits and pieces of everything that we say is going to apply to you. Money, just work in general is different no matter where you are in the country. But the more information you know, the more you can kind of chop it up and find the bits that you want. It's like fishing, right? Those guys that put that giant net in there, they're just getting everything there. They're throwing back dolphins and turtles or whatever else. They're just looking for that little bit, and they have to filter kind of a lot of it. Same thing we talk about hiring. You got to hire 10 guys to find that one good one, you know? It's the same thing with information. The more you read and learn and think for yourself, the better you're going to be. But either way, I hope you have a pencil or paper available or handy, because I'm going to give you some stuff to follow, track, read, whatever you want. So I'm going to wait here. Go ahead and get that. Got it? Cool. Okay. Good deal. So first, what I want to talk about is learning in general. The reason people want to fight it is because everybody thinks that their way is best, which it probably is, right? Like I've said a billion times, it's your business. You can't be wrong. No matter what you decide to do is right because it's your business. But in knowledge and experience, there's never been a time like there is today, or like there will be tomorrow, to learn. There's more knowledge out there and people sharing their experiences and ease of finding it than there ever has been. So those guys that started businesses 20 years ago, they don't have all this, right? They're called the dinosaurs in the industry because they've been left there. They stay there. There's a lot of guys, though, before you go ahead and send me hate mail, there's a lot of guys and gals out there who have been in business for 20 years, 30 years, who started on their own, right? Who took over somebody's company and did it the same way, but then still grew. They still knew that there was other information out there, and they still went out to be knowledgeable. So for those guys and gals, kudos to you, but it's up to you now, the newest generation of window cleaners, pressure washers, soft washers, whatever you want to call it, to go out and find the knowledge, to learn the knowledge and learn from other people's mistakes. Don't try to think that if you have something you think is better, do it. But a lot of the times what happens is people speak from knowledge. You can find out, I only have 12 years in the industry, something like that, but it's whatever you can learn from me is from my 12 years of experience. Whatever you can learn from the next guy is from their experience. And all of a sudden, you're picking from thousands of years of experience that you get to learn, even if you're new. Even if you started a company yesterday, you can learn all this stuff super quick, easy. You don't have to do the trial and error because somebody else has. But with that being said, I first want to talk about Facebook groups, because Facebook is huge, or huge if you're in New Jersey, right? But they're huge because it is a social platform that allows people to kind of jump on, say, contribute, not contribute, to lurk, to read, to do all that, right? You don't ever have to say a word and you'll learn. The downside to Facebook are there's shampoo drinkers out there. There are dummies who just want to destroy you. They just want to troll you, and that's all they're going to do. So you have to have a thick skin first and foremost. Somebody had just posted on, I apologize to not have your name, but something about all these pros, swear word, are all wasting time because they're idiots and nothing on here is to learn. Then go away. Like, here's the nice benefit to Facebook. If you don't like it, leave. Leave and don't read or don't look. Don't sift through the information. Don't. But if you want that one thing that's just strictly by the book and everybody's serious, Facebook is not your answer. But there's a ton of good information on Facebook. Pictures, videos, right? These guys are just doing it, putting it out there for everybody to see. This is a great asset, but you have to filter through the idiots. It's like any social platform. Same thing with making videos, right? I have people who comment, we end up deleting comments because it's just people spamming, saying, wow, we really like you, check out my Instagram, and it's some person who doesn't have anything to do with the industry, right? But you have to filter that through. You just have to. And if you don't filter it through, then what happens is you're going to get overwhelmed by the idiots of the industry who are kind of not even taking advantage of, but they are the ones that are basically gonna give you that kind of sour taste about everything. Don't mind the phone going off in the background here. It should stop. There you go. But they're the ones who are going to give that sour taste. So here's a list of Facebook groups. Have a thick skin. Toughen up, Buttercup. If you're in a group, be tough. Who cares if somebody swears or puts a picture of some... These are the groups. And any groups that WCR, that they... boy, oh boy. Admin, I guess, that I'm an admin for, anybody, is we don't delete comments for the most part. It's there. It's an open forum. That's the point of it. Why delete things if it's just going to push from one agenda? The only thing that we'll delete is if you're in one of our groups and you mention a certain company that we don't allow in the groups. That's it. And the only reason for that is everybody knows the back and forth, and we're just not trying to do anything with it. We're just, trying to be done with it. But other than that, it's going to stay there, even if somebody calls somebody else a name. So don't think that we're going to go and do the thing, bubble wrap the world, and take away the meanies or bullies, because it's just not going to happen. But look in their search, which also a lot of people don't know. There's even a search function in Facebook in the groups where if you want to find something that somebody's talked about, search it by the word and it'll pull it up. It's an amazing asset. But here's some of the groups that I like. And if you're not a member of, join it now. I'll approve you to come on in and check everything out. But here's where the pen and paper come into play. But the first one is, the Facebook group is called Pro Window Cleaning. Pro Window Cleaning. That's a great one. That is a traditional focused group that has thousands of window cleaners in it, and they talk shop. Yeah, not all the time are they talking shop, but for the most part, it's actually got a really good vibe to it. Yeah, there's trolls in that group, like anything, but you can block people on Facebook too, so block away. But definitely join that one. That's a really good one. The other one is Window Cleaners / Waterfed. That is, of course, Waterfed. We split the two up, so there's a lot more focus on traditional in Pro Window Cleaning, and there's a lot more Waterfed and, of course, Waterfed. That gives it a little bit more of a focus so that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're listening to, and you know what you're reading. But both of those have thousands of members. Both those groups together have like 10,000 members. I mean, that's a lot of information to learn. Again, have a thick skin and, fish around to find the information you need. But another great one for pressure washing or window cleaners that want to be pressure washers, or pressure washers who are trying to get into window cleaning that are listening or watching this, is Pressure Washing Resource. That's another really good one. Thousands of members, and they talk pressure washing, right? If you get a focus, it's easier to kind of wade through all the stuff. That's why those groups exist. But you have to have a thick skin in those groups. But go, if you haven't already, when this podcast is done, go in and join those three, and I'm telling you, you're going to learn a ton of stuff. And you'll also meet Bucket Benji that I talk about in the show all the time. It's good with the bed. But another asset that I really, really like are the forums. Now, a lot of guys and gals are saying the forums are dead because they were such a thing, and they're not a thing as much now. There's still tens and tens of thousands of members that are registered. I think it's like 30-something thousand members that are on windowcleaner.com, which was Window Cleaning Resource. Everything's going off to that windowcleaner.com. But windowcleaner.com /community, that is the forum. It's a great, 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 great resource. Why? You can also search those forums. And there's everything that you could ever possibly want to know has been talked about. And I always throw that out there. If somebody gives me a shout, right? I work for Window Cleaning Resource, obviously. I didn't go over that before. But if you're on live chat between the hours of 5 and 11 East Coast time, I'm the one you're going to talk to. So what's up? Give me a shout out. Jump on, talk shop. But if you come on and you go, hey, let me get your thoughts on what's the best way to bid, I'm going to give you the forum. Not because I don't want to talk to you, but it's because I can't give you the time that you need as far as talking with other people on products. But you can go in and find 1,000 different answers, not just mine. So as opposed to, you want to know my opinion on anything, I'll give it to you. I'm not ashamed I'm wrong, like I say, but that doesn't mean that I still don't like my opinion. So I'm going to tell you my opinion, but you can get 1,000 people's opinion by going on the forums. It's just an amazing, amazing asset. And that is windowcleaner.com/community. Another one with that is, if you haven't, or this is your first time listening to podcasts like this, talking shop, just soaking it all in. There's different mediums. Some guys and gals like to read. Some of them like to watch. I personally would rather watch a video. YouTube is my kind of go-to. I'd rather do that than read a book. I hate reading books. I hate it. I'm not a reader. My daughters, they would rather read a book than watch TV most of the time. They got a book at all times. We're going to hey, get in the truck. We got to go to the gas station. They're reading a book, right? I'm just not like that. So it's all up to you and your style of learning, I guess. I also like the interaction with people, which I feel like video, I have that a little bit better. Conferences are also amazing for that. And I'm not going to beat conferences because you guys heard enough about it. But that's the next transition in here is conventions. There's another conventions coming up in Atlanta. That's coming up a year from now. There's also going to be the ICE show. That's in Vegas. That's the International Cleaning Expo. There's the ISSA, which is the big one. I may be at that one actually, but that one is not so tight-knit where you're going to be talking to people. I think that's kind of a bigger scale. But the ICE show, that's a huge one. That's a great show. That's coming up in February. Just going to those and talking to people and learning. It's a face-to-face interaction. You're going to learn things. You know, every question you ask, or just in passing, the things you talk about. We've talked about that. You're going to learn a ton just by talking with other people. But take it for a grain of salt when you talk to people in other states. There's some places that they're making 2 and 3 times more than some other areas. Now, could you charge more? Yeah, we always talk about that. You could always try to charge more. The people who've never tried are the ones that say they can't charge more, but certainly try. But when you're talking to people, again, remember, some things work some places, some things work other places. For the most part, it all works. Your customers are not any different than anybody else's customers. I'm telling you that right now. Find out for yourself when you change things. But when you're reading these, remember, you're talking to people even in the UK about window cleaning, and they do things completely different over there. It's route. Like, every house they have is at least monthly. They don't do this whole once a year thing like we do. It's just different, right? But take it with a grain of salt. If you haven't listened to the podcast, which I started kind of talking about, Luke the Window Cleaner is a great one. Steve-O, right? All these guys that are out there are doing videos, not because we're rich at all. I mean, none of us make money on these videos. I mean, pennies, right? But it's to put the information out there, because information will sit out there forever. You're going to help people forever, which is just mind-boggling, right? And that's why this is my 3rd style of show. I've done the Biz. Don't watch it. It's old and quality is terrible. But I did the Mullen Jersey show. Some of you know about that, right? Shout out to the Mullen Jersey show. But then I did this one. And the only reason I'm doing this, other than I like to help people, is that this information is going to be out there forever. So even after I'm done helping people in person, they can still watch it. There's nothing better than having somebody come up to you and say, hey, thanks for everything you do. I learned so much. You got me started, whatever it is. And that's why we do this. But all the information's out there. Now, if you watch all of it, yeah, some of it sucks. My podcast sucks sometimes. Like, you can't hit them all out of the park. But you can find out that if you want to know my thoughts on bidding, we have an episode for that, right? If you don't want to know anything about bidding because you know it all or you don't want to, then don't listen to it. That's the nice thing about media in general. But that's windowcleaner.com/podcast. You're going to see right now in that column is mine and Luke's new one that he just started, which is going to be awesome with him and his beautiful bride. They're going to be talking back and forth about pretty much everything industry related. So that'll be super cool. But if you are a reader or somebody who likes to take in information that way, I know a lot of people who read. Michael Molo's a reader, right? I think Goler, I think you're a reader too. There's a lot of guys that Chris they're readers, or they listen to ebooks. I don't have the attention span to listen to ebooks. I've tried and listened to a few and don't remember anything. So the few books that I've actually read, I've taken and sat down and actually read. But here's a list of amazing books. The first one I'm going to get out of the way because, again, I work with Window Cleaning Resource, but I have to say this one because as far as assets go in books, this is the top of the tier in my opinion. Definitely top of the tier. No one told me to say this. This is my thoughts. But it's the Window Cleaners Marketing Blueprint. And I want to say right now it's free. Like, you got to just basically give us your information as who you are so we know, what area you are, that kind of thing. And we'll send it off to you. It's windowcleaner.com/free-book. Go ahead and check that one out. Another awesome. Chris wrote that. Chris is a guy I could listen to all the time, like Kurt Kempton. If you have never heard Kurt Kempton talk, man, I could listen to him talk all the time. He's just one of those guys, and Chris is that way too. His book really keeps you there. It's information filled, but it's just really, really well done. And anyway, check that one out. On top of that, other books that I have no affiliation with, of course, Profit First. This book is kind of hitting the window cleaning side of things. Maybe 2 years ago, I started seeing kind of people talking about it, and it has blown up, and everybody loves that book. Loves the book. The book is really, really amazing too. It opens your eyes to a whole nother kind of realm. Again, this is all information you may know, but putting it out there is kind of that reinvigorating or putting in the front of your focus. But it's basically telling you, because everybody's got this whole measuring contest of what grosses to the most, part. Everybody goes, how many trucks you running? Oh, you got 10 guys on, man. I got 11 doing way better than you, right? That's not how it is. Profit is what you want. This book just kind of really opens up doors and things that you haven't thought of. It's just a really, really good book to read. But that's called Profit First. Check it out. It's a very, very good book. But my other one, where I'm not going to give you kind of a specific one, but is sales books. Remember that you are a salesman or a saleswoman. That's what you are. You're good at running the business. That's why you're successful. But you have to sell your business. You have to get new customers. Sell or die. We've talked about that. So any sales book you have or get or want or read or listen to is going to help you. And I think the number one book I get at rummage sales, because I always like finding kind of business books, but they're sales books. Always. I've read probably, I couldn't even tell you how many sales books that I've read, just because they all give you closes. Some of them will focus on human nature and why someone, like the senses, and that pain is actually the number one sense of make you want to end, how do you create different senses in people by the words you say and the way that you say them? That's sales. Sales is listening twice as much as you're talking. 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? That's like that for a reason. But the more you read on sales, the better off you can sell. Where would your business be right now if you could sell another 10% route? Another 10% of houses. You increase your sales by that much. That would be huge. It's definitely worth a few minutes of reading. But honing your skills. There's not anybody I've ever met that's the best seller that has no room to. Everybody can increase. You could be a great salesman and become a better one. Sales are always, always, always going to be changing and being better. Human nature will always be the same, but you have to understand it. Subliminal side of things is really pretty important too. Not to get off topic here, but in sales, if somebody says to you, I don't even really remember what the guy charged me last time, but man, he just never showed up on time. It was awful. My windows are dirty. I just never knew when he was coming. And you hear that and you go, well, we are the lowest priced in town. So that person's going to just go, I don't care. I told you by when I said I don't even remember what they charged, that price isn't an issue. It's reliability. The way you sell that job is now, instead of price, you don't talk about price. I don't even remember what price was. I'll never bring up price again. It'll be written down, Oh, there it is in passing. But I'm going to tell you right now, we're as reliable as a post office. We're going to be here. We're going to be here, and if it rains or has inclement weather that I can't be here, you're going to be the first person that I reschedule, and we will always be here on time, and we'll get that done that week, regardless of what the weather is, right? That's what that person is asking you. That's what that person is subliminally telling you by how they spoke to you. You have to catch those. But reading books will let you see different facets of business. A few of the good ones, the E-Myth Revisited 2, I wanted to mention that one, and then 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, 7 Ways to Influence People. I should have wrote that one down. That's another one. You know that book. Everybody knows that book. Those are some really good classics. Check them out if you haven't. If you're at rummage sales, if you're a rummage sailor, find business books. Those are always fun to find kind of at rummage sales. But learning and bringing in new knowledge will always help you be better. Always, always, always. You've now sat through, 20 plus minutes of this particular episode, and there may or may not have been something that triggered in your brain, something you may or may not have learned that sets you up to the next guy. The more information you have, the better off you will be. It's a guaranteed all the time. So learn everything you can out there. And if I missed anything, please comment down below. Let's do YouTube. Comment down on YouTube if you are watching it there. If you're listening to the podcast, jump on over to any of those forums and please join any of them. I'd love to see you there, and hopefully it helps. Learn, and hopefully you learn a thing or two. But that is it for me. Like I said before, I am a salesman for a window cleaning resource. So even better than commenting or giving us a thumbs up would be if you called me direct for any of your sales or questions, anything like that. You can also text, which I do a ton of texting. It's kind of my go-to thing. No matter what I'm doing during the day, I can always text you back. But my number is 862-312-2026. And if you still have that pen out, write that down. 862-312-2026. Shoot me a text. Say what's up, and when you're ready to buy anything, let me know there. Also, if you'd like to email me questions, if you have a bunch of questions, if you don't really feel like talking, shoot me an email. I do a ton of emails also. It's josh@windowcleaningresource.com. Shoot me a message there. And if you want to talk on Messenger, which is a huge asset, again, I'm very Facebook oriented as far as I'm always on there checking forums and groups. Check me out on Facebook for Messenger. It's Josh. What the heck is my Facebook one? Anyway, thought I had that. Facebook, check it out. Either way, you know my name. Find me somewhere. Talk to me on Messenger. It's a really good asset also. So anyway, that's our episode. Please do come back next week if you have the chance, or follow us on the other platforms. Like us and listen to any of the old podcasts. It's always very, very much appreciated. So thanks again. We will see you next week.